2 peas and a bong.
2 peas in a bong. 2 peas
2
in a
peas and
bong.
a bong.
2 Peas and a Bong. 2 Peas and a Bong. 2 Peas
2 peas
2
in a
peas
bong.
and a bong.
2 Peas and a Bong in the building again. It's your boy DP.
And without your boy KP, who's on an extended vacation, it's your boy Bong. Man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy.
Hey.
Outslexing my draft. What up? Matthew Miller.
Oh, Matthew Miller was good.
Top of the top. Wow. We spoke about a few things in the last episode, DP. And I'm gonna KP got an early morning, man. So KP got a KP with us in spirit tonight. He the basketball expert. I told him he fucking up, but you know, gotta take care of you. Gotta take care of your business first. So he's handling business. But man, for all the people that said low ratings, small market teams, the first two games was bullshit, basically. Game 3 and game 4 gave us something to talk about. Let's give them something to talk about. Man.
Oh, D Riles in the building.
What up, D Riley? Yeah, man. D Riley, I think it's bigger than that. So before I even go on to giving my thoughts on the game, DP, remember what I was saying after game 3? I said the game was kind of getting away from him. If the game's getting away from you, you're down 3, you're down 5, you're down 7. I don't want to fucking see what's the guy, Chet Holmgren, trying to lead us to the promised land. Or I don't want to see J-Dub trying to lead us to the promised land. This is when everybody get the fuck out of the way. Give the ball to your fucking the MVP of the league and tell this nigga to go to work. And that's what the fuck he did today. And no, because the deceptive part is when it's all said and done, they'll say, oh, SGA went to the line 10 times. 5 or 6 of those free throws came late as they're trying to ice the game. A couple of intentional fouls. I think he had like either two free throws when they were trying to ice the game super late. So he wasn't even getting it from the line, right? That fourth quarter, the last little stretch in the fourth quarter where
he wasn't getting it from the line?
No, hell no. He had, I think SGA shot his first 2 free
you
throws.
talking about down the stretch or just in the game period?
In the game period.
What about down the stretch?
No. Well, I said the 10 free throws that he shot is gonna be deceptive because I think 5 or 6 of those came like late in the game. Like they had already established, I think they were up 4, and a couple of them were intentional fouls where you know what I'm saying, they fouled before they got the ball inbound, so he's shooting a free throw and then they get the possession. So he got 2 right there. He got 2 late on when the game was basically iced away. It was like 8 seconds left in the game. He holds the ball and they're trying to foul him. But he didn't do it. He got 30 points, right? The first 30. Let's take away the last 5 when the game was kind of out of hand. He had to do it without the fouls, without the free throws. He had to do it without the help or the assistance of the referees. In a game where, especially late, the end of the third quarter and the entire fourth quarter, it was a heavy Pacers free throw extravaganza. Can we agree to that? I think the Pacers got
Mm,
a lot of calls in the second half of the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. They got a lot of calls. But all that to say, when the game was on the line and we needed motherfuckers to get out the way and just, hey, somebody go win us a game, I wanted to see it happen like it happened today. I don't want to see Chet Holmgren trying to win the game. I don't want to see J Dub trying to win the game. Get out the way and give it to your superstar.
well, I mean, I don't. I think the OKC took more free throws. I mean, it was close. It wasn't like it was one sided as far as the foul calls, but in the end, I mean, they had a couple fouls before the ball was even inbounded, so it wasn't
But
like
but
they
that's
was
what I'm talking
getting.
about. I'm talking about those were intentional fouls that happened late in the game, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that well, then that's two different things because it wasn't like you were saying give the ball to SGA and let him cook. I didn't really see him do anything way different than what he had been doing in the games before. He been going for 30 something. I mean, the last game he had 20 something. He been going for 30 something on a consistent basis. It's not like he did something out of this world in this game. I thought it was more so Indiana went cold. Indiana went cold and they looked like they were just all over the place. They couldn't set up the offense. It was one play where I think they were down by two, and Nimhard had the ball. He passed it, got it back, and then he was trying to shake Chet Holmgren, and then took a shot and missed. And then from that point on, it was just OKC. The momentum just went in the OKC's favor. Like I don't know
So
why they didn't. I don't know why they didn't like calm it down, call a set, get the ball. Like Al Sucks in my draft started saying like, why the fuck did you not get the ball to Siakam down the stretch? Like you got to give him the ball. He's your best one-on-one face. Like that shit Halliburton was doing, like going to the cup with the scoops. Okay, cool. But Halliburton is always trying to dribble, shake, step back, take a three. And they know that. That's why SGA blocked that shit that he was trying to throw up.
that goofy
Shake,
shit.
dribble, step back, take a three. Yeah, it works, here and there, but now it's like it's becoming predictable. They know what you want to
And
do.
and, and what I'm saying, Al Sucks in mock draft. You said SJ wasn't effective until he got a billion free throws at the end of the game. Coming into the fourth quarter, SGA had two free throws on the game. Two free throws on the game coming into the fourth quarter. Five free throws. So he had 30 points before. Again, five free throws happened after the game was already settled. They were up for they were playing the foul game. Indiana was fouling intentionally, so he got a couple of free throws for Indiana fouling before the ball came in. Two free throws on that.
But what
You
what
got
makes you think that what makes you think SGA was like just out of this world in this game? I'm trying to get to where you
because
feel you feel
I
that
believe
way.
I believe SGA had like 14 or 15 points in the fourth quarter, and they came late in the game. Like he basically carried them through the end of the game. We okay, do we? Hold on, man. Am I the only one that watched a different game? OKC was down in the fourth, right?
I mean, at what point? Why do you keep doing that? Why do you
What do
keep
you mean?
doing that?
OKC was down. They weren't winning the game.
Yeah, they
Like
were, but
we
I'm
thought it
saying
was
at what point are you talking about? Because you keep going to you jump into different parts of the game. When you go to the last 5 minutes, OKC, it was tied and going back and forth at that point. Then OKC went up for like the last 3 minutes. They were up three and some change. I think they were up.
right. And I believe Shea scored 14 of their last 15 points. Yes. So if it's a close game and it's back and forth, it was Shea, it was SGA that was going back and forth with
But
Indiana.
and I'm just saying you came on here like SGA was just whoo out of this world. Like this is what he been doing. The only thing that
But
happened was what you
what
said
I'm
was Chet. I agree with you when you said
yeah,
Chet Holmgren don't give him the ball. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Chet Holmgren
absolutely.
didn't have the ball.
But what I'm
I'm
saying is,
I'm just
yeah, but no, what I'm saying is that's what I wanted to see. If the game's on the line, I don't want Chet trying to be the guy that wins the game and gets his shit blocked 2 times by Turner. You get what I'm saying? So maybe because the way I phrased it, it seems like I was trying to put SGA on this pedestal. But I'm saying like if I have an MVP on my team and I have somebody that is the league's MVP and he's a superstar, and we want to differentiate between SGA and fucking Halliburton. When it comes down to the when we come down the stretch and it's a tight game, man, everybody get out the way and just let this motherfucker do what he's supposed to do as the MVP of the league, as a star in the league. And that's what I wanted to see in game 3. If you give him that opportunity in game 3 and they lose, I can live with that. What pissed me off about game 3 was we're coming down the stretch. SGA's not touching the ball. You got Chet doing shit that he's not even comfortable doing. He's tried to do that shit again this game. But late in the game, the ball never found his hand. And when J-Dub got the ball, we going to try and screen, get my boy SGA the ball, get him in position to do what he does best. And the refs did not bail him out. He wasn't effective tonight based on being bailed out by the referees, is what I'm saying. So a lot of
okay.
he scored, he came into the fourth quarter, had 2 free throws on the game. Five of his additional 7 or 8 free throws came when the game was out of hand, and it was just, hey man, let me just go ahead and do what I got to do. So it wasn't like, hey man, the refs just bailed him out late. They
I mean
didn't.
they kind of let some stuff go too. I thought um the play against
The the,
Neesmith, I thought it was a
the,
push.
the
I thought it
push
was a
off.
push off. I thought it was a
Yeah.
push off. They let it
Okay.
go.
Yep.
It was
Yeah.
clearly a push off because even he stumbled into his own shot
Right. Okay.
after the push off right in front of the ref. So that was a big play and a
Mm-hmm.
big shot. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean, the ref didn't call it. So I mean, that was a big shot. But
Yeah. No, for sure.
Caruso hit a big shot before that where he like skipped over to the baseline and like uh shot the fade
Hey,
on the baseline.
hey, DP.
Hmm? Oh yeah, and
Hey,
D Rowell said and the travel, huh?
it was a trap.
Yeah.
Listen, you can
I
call
mean it
travel.
right in front of the ref, but that's the thing is SGA. So it's your MVP, superstar, whatever you want to call it. So the refs let it go. So I mean, and some stuff is like SGA knows how to fall at the right moment too. Like he's falling and making it look like it's a foul on niggas. Like he will run into a motherfucker and then fall down. It's like,
Yeah.
so but shout out to him if you know how to make it happen and know how to, how to bait the refs in or the players and the refs into the call, then cool.
Mel
You
Gibson.
get it.
Mel Gibson. You said OKC's defense was the story, not SGA. OKC's defense was a part of the story. It doesn't matter if you can slow a team down defensively if you can't score. So again, if you're saying that it was OKC's defense, but SGA had 35, I mean,
But SGA is always scoring 30
no,
something.
no, no. I'm saying what I'm saying is it almost seems like Mel Gibson right now is trying to discredit SGA in the 35. Like it wasn't SGA, it was the defense. Okay, the defense was good, but if you can't score, then it doesn't matter. Indiana went on a few runs. They went on a few runs, especially starting in the middle of the third quarter. They went on a few runs where they were up 8. They OKC a fight back, get it down to 2. They go up 9. OKC a fight back again, they'll go up 7.
But people talk about Carlisle, being a genius and stuff too. There was some points where you're up 8 and you let that lead go all the way down to 2, and you have Halliburton on the bench. Was Turner on the bench at that point? I don't know. He flip flops Turner and Obi Toppin for whatever reason. But I mean, you have McConnell in there. McConnell was solid, but then once the lead starts dwindling, once it gets to like 5 or whatever, like, man, bring back your guns, dog. They know how to play down the stretch, preserve energy or whatever down the stretch. Like, I understand they're trying to say OKC staggering SGA's minutes and all that stuff because they want them to have more in the tank when it gets down to the last 5 minutes, like you've been talking about, the last part of the fourth quarter or whatever. But I mean, at some point when when the lead is dwindling down at that point in the game, don't let it go all the way down to 2 before you call a timeout. Like, you can't
Hey,
you can't have that.
and DP, you want to know something funny? We saw that shit when it got close and it became like a tie game, 2-point game. The free flowing, the easy going offense where Obi Toppin is getting the shot or Neesmith is getting the shot. All that shit slowed down. That shit came to a screeching halt. Motherfuckers cheeks got tight.
Well, and that's what I'm saying was more of the to
Coaching
me,
part. Yeah.
I think that was more of the reason why Indiana lost. They
Yeah.
were sputtering
Yeah.
and down the stretch in the fourth quarter. Like I said, they were all over the place. It was like, here, Nimhard, you go. Okay, here, Halliburton, you go. Like, they do that. They do those dribble handoffs at the top of the key. It's almost like a motion offense, dribble handoff, and then go when you see an opening. Like, man, like, you got to have something better than that, and you got to go to Siakam. You can't be, playing ring around the rosies at the top of the key and handing the ball off, and then you do that until you have about 12 seconds on the clock. Then somebody got to make it happen, and you have a match where, which way do you want to call it, a mismatch for Nimhard or Chet? Like,
Yeah.
you gotta create a whole lot of space to get a shot over him,
Yeah.
or a whole lot of space to get a shot over Hartenstein. If you're not going to the cup, that's why I'm saying you gotta start running Siakam up there. I keep saying this, man. I've said this every time we talk about this. You got to run Siakam on some of those exchanges, because then you create a mismatch with him and some of the other players.
Yeah.
Siakam's your best. Again, he's your best go face up, go to the basket guy on that team, and you don't run anything to him down the stretch. Like,
Charles Barkley's been talking about that since the New York series.
why do
Right.
you
And
not run anything to him? That
the funny thing,
don't make sense to me.
you remember when he interviewed him? They interviewed him in that New York series, and I think he made mention of why doesn't your team, when you're cooking or when you got it going, why doesn't your team like make it a point to give you the ball? And Siakam kind of like played it off like, hey man, listen man, this is how we win. Like, it's a team game, da 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 da, this and the third.
Got to get him the ball.
D. Riley says they were trying to get the mismatch with Chet.
Okay, D. Rouse. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Why can't you bring Siakam up at the top and get the switch with Siakam and Chet? I'd rather see Siakam going against Chet Holmgren, taking him to the cup or something. Like, you don't run anything with him. Like, the handoffs come at the top. The handoffs come from, I think at that point, Obi Toppin was in. So the handoff comes from him to Halliburton to Nimhart. Then Nimhart has to go do what he's doing on the particular play I'm talking about. And then he just, he missed the shot. Now, Nimhart has been knocking down some tough shots. At the end of the game, though, I'm just saying, like, offensively, I would go the same way, Bong, that you saying you got to go to SGA. I think the guy for Indiana is Siakam. You have to go to Siakam if you're trying to get your best one-on-one guy, get a shot up, go to Siakam because all of Halliburton's heroics respectable, right? But he ain't going to the cup like that. He not
Motherfucker
facing
just
up
got
like
hey,
that.
he just shot his first 2 free throws of the damn series.
In the
In game four.
fourth game of the series, man.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
because you're not aggressive.
Yeah.
Because he's not aggressive.
And and and
He he could put a lot more pressure on OKC's guards if he would just go to the cup more. Like get Caruso in foul trouble because you took him to the cup and did the scoops a couple times. Like, I mean, if all you're gonna do is shoot, the threes, like that's not putting any pressure on OKC, man. They'll live with that. They'll switch, let you take your three, and then they'll control the rebound, control the boards.
um engineer says this felt like the call came in game. I don't think so.
Uh,
Um
hey, Mel Gibson said Pacers lost the series. Now this was their chance. They sold the bag. I agree with this, man. Like
I
they in
listen,
trouble. They in trouble now.
because look, DP, and in a game where OKC only made 3 3-pointers. Y'all had
Yeah,
them dead to rights. Y'all had
man.
them dead to rights. I'm watching the game in the third, and when I think the lead went up to like 9. I'm like, man, OKC just looked like they just everything, every time every time they scored, it just felt like it just took a lot for OKC to get a basket, and Indiana just had shit rolling.
Whole
Obi,
series,
yeah, Obi
though.
Toppin, Obi Toppin, he 2 threes, he put back. I'm like, oh shit, okay, Obi Toppin got it going. Like they had every lever working in Indiana, and I'm
Did
like,
did
damn,
did you hear SGA after the post game interview where he's basically saying, yeah, we gotta work for every shot and all that shit.
yeah,
I don't think he just talking that shit. I think
no,
they really have to work. Like
yeah.
Indiana is making those motherfuckers work. Just like you could say OKC has a good defense and shit like that. Like Indiana has a good defense too, man. Like they're playing hard. And when I said they were what were we talking about last time? It wasn't scrappy. It was I forgot what the word was when we were trying to say which team was more out of them and the Knicks. I forget what we were trying to say, but
What
um,
was KP was saying?
what
He
the
was
fuck
using
was it?
some word.
Yeah, but anyway, they're a scrappy, feisty team. They're not
Yeah,
gonna go down without a fight. They
yeah,
have
yeah.
been that way. Don't sleep on them because you know OKC, you could find yourself down again, right? They've already won a game at your crib, so it's not like they can't do it again. But I do think that, hey, learn from your mistakes. Second time around, now you have home court advantage again. You've taken it back, and it looks like it's in OKC's favor at this
Hey,
point.
and OKC is staying true to their trend, right? They lose game 3, they come out and win game 4. So if you're a betting man, Bean Gaming, um,
Oh man,
um,
he said Matherin.
my boy
He
Scotty
said
Boy
Matherin is seller.
is a seller. Yeah, I
Oh
mean,
God,
the missing those free
yo,
throws late.
what the fuck?
How much were they down? They were down 4 when he missed the 2 free throws,
Yeah,
and then
yep.
came back, and I think they were down 5, and then he missed another one. Um, yeah, man. Again, but you're talking about you're putting a role player in a clutch situation where everything is on the line. Again, if we're up, man, those free throws go in like butter, right? Everybody's relaxed, everybody's calm. As soon as that shit became a tie game or they went down to, you just started seeing the role players kind of revert back to who they were. And that's why I was saying that's kind of how I felt about Chet Holmgren in game 3. Chet Holmgren is a great role player, but he's not a star. And I don't want Chet Holmgren in a game where I can go up 2-1. I don't need Chet Holmgren trying to take me home. Like, nah. Again, we can talk about Alex Caruso. And we always talking what we've been saying the last couple of games, what kind of lunch
Oh,
pail he had.
which one did he bring
Oh,
tonight?
listen. Hey, today he had the hot and cold, right? The one that'll keep your meals cold, keep your meals hot, the
He
backpack,
and did he
right?
also have the thermostat joint in there that keeps the water cool?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All that
Okay.
good stuff. Look, and his wife meal prep for him. So he had the Tupperware in there.
Okay.
Nice little big, the big thermos type shit that you can put ice in. It's a
Okay.
cooler. It could be a
Ice
heater.
didn't melt, still had ice
Oh
in that bitch
yeah,
at the end of
yeah,
the day.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She
So
packed
he
him a
was
little
good. He
breakfast,
was good.
snack, lunch. Yeah, yeah. He opened and he popped open the Tupperware. That shit was still warm. You feel
Okay.
me?
Okay.
Alex Caruso held them down early. So SJ didn't have a great game early. It was, 14 points in the fourth quarter made a difference. But in order for them to get there, Alex Caruso had to do a lot more. Remember, I was talking about after the last game, man, he's so much more than what they allow him to do or what they ask of him to do. Like he has games where it's like 5 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Like he's Josh Hart, the equivalent to what Josh Hart is with the New York Knicks, where they ask him to be like the glue guy.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you're gonna have to play hard nosed defense. You're gonna have to die for you're gonna have to die for some rebounds. You're gonna have to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But every now and again, just like Josh Hart, he'll show his true colors. Like, hey man, I can go get it. I can go
Mm-hmm.
get it too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm worthy of that. Um, and yeah, man. Hey, Caruso. I mean, the Lakers have they got some guys all over the league where they miss him. Josh Hart, Caruso, shit, Thomas Bryant when he's having a decent game. All these dudes came through that
Yeah,
Lakers
that's
squad.
because the Lakers don't develop guys, man.
Yeah,
The
they want them
Lakers
up
the
for the
Lakers want
yeah,
you to be ready. You
yeah.
know, they always
Especially
have.
under the go ahead,
No, I was
DB.
just saying they've always had stars. They
Yep,
or superstars. They've had stacked teams throughout the years. Like they've
yeah.
had all-star squads, and then they want filler players who can come in ready to do what they need them to do. They ain't developing nobody. I mean, you could say Kobe, you know,
Yeah.
they allowed
Under
Kobe to develop, you
under
know.
the LeBron regime, they
Oh
don't
yeah.
want
No.
any young guys
No.
that can develop, right?
No.
They moved off of Brandon
Brandon Ingram.
Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo, Josh Hart, Caruso, Thomas Bryant.
Man,
I mean,
my son asked me if Lonzo Ball doesn't get injured, is he better than LaMelo Ball?
he has a better game. Yeah, he
So
does.
you think Lonzo Ball would be better than LaMelo Ball had he
Uh,
never got injured?
Absolutely. I think LaMelo he's flashier, right? He has a flashy game, but he's not efficient. Um, he makes he's liable to make way more mistakes, but his game jumps out. His game jumps out when you watch highlights. But he's on a team where he has talent around him, and these motherfuckers can't win. These motherfuckers ain't never been to the playoffs. They don't make There's a reason why the fans love him. Remember, I told you with the fan voting, he was like number one in fan voting for his position on the East.
Mm-hmm.
And player voting, he was pretty high. But I think with the coaches, um, they didn't vote this motherfucker into the All Star game just because they're like, nah, we ain't fucking with bro. I think
I
Lonzo,
said no.
yeah.
I said LaMelo. But I think it's just because I'm thinking the LaMelo ceiling is just higher.
If he ever like really focused on trying to win basketball games and like the team aspect as opposed to just his individual stats, right?
Yeah,
LaMelo is
but
like a guy that he's Sidney Dean. You dig?
yeah,
Oh,
but
white
you
man can't jump.
hey, but you just spoke to the franchise though. Like what has
Yeah, you know, terrible franchise too.
yeah,
So
what have they done? Like if you
Um,
get him in a
I,
different situation, then yeah. Like we remember we had that talk about how would it be had he gone to Golden State and been groomed by like a Steph Curry and
yeah.
Draymond and Klay
and, and,
Thompson,
and and me
all
and
them
KP
guys.
said that he probably wouldn't have fit in culturally just because he already came from a situation where he was allowed to kind of go off the reservation whenever he wanted to, and kind of just do his own thing, color outside the lines, that type of thing. So
Uh-huh. And
but
Dizzle, speaking of what we said, he said LaMelo's a product of shitty culture, no
yeah,
coach, no GM, no good vets,
yeah,
kids
kids
raising
raising
kids.
kids. That's
Like,
at the end of the day, that's it in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? Similar to he's remember him and Ant Edwards came out in the same draft, but Ant Edwards has what's the point guard that old boy says should be playing in the Pro Am League? Mike Conley. He
yeah.
got a Mike Conley over there that kind of keeps him in line, like keeps him grounded. You know what I'm saying? He has some other guys over there that kind of have their head on their shoulder. Even Julius Randle. Julius Randle, we look at him as a young dude, but that motherfucker's a vet. He been around for a minute. He was another one of the Laker players that the Lakers refused to develop
And
and
if you
send
ask
his ass on his way.
Julius Randle, he will consider himself a Kobe disciple.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I need him to knock that off.
Hey,
Stop that,
hey,
Julius.
you know he does though.
Stop it.
You know he
He always
does.
telling stories. He always telling the Kobe stories. Hey, let me piss some people off. Because a few, I know people was in the chat when we had the discussion. Can we finally put to bed the comparison of '06 Wade and this year's SGA? SGA this year clears '06 Wade, the '06 Wade in that Miami Dallas finals. I mean, clears him. Remember, D Wade was getting to the free throw line like Shaq in his prime, like a Wilt Chamberlain in his prime. 25, 26, 27 free throws in a game for a guard is the referee not even trying to hide it. There's no fucking guard in this era that's going in the finals that's going to the line 25, 26, 27 times. So
Well,
can we please let's put that to bed. D Wade,
the game is different too though. Like it's played different. SGA doesn't attack the basket like that. And he has other guys. I think when we compared the team, you know, especially today, if you look at what his supporting cast did today, like he didn't have to really turn it on until the fourth quarter. Like you have no Wade, you ain't in the game. If D Wade ain't producing or going to the line, whatever you say, however you say he got it, if he ain't
right?
getting it that way, Miami's done. But
Yeah,
you don't necessarily say that with OKC. They showed you today. They were still in the game. They kept it close to where SGA could do what you said, close the show.
yeah.
Come in, close the show, not Chet Holmgren. So it wasn't necessarily SGA's efforts, you know, throughout the entire game. And
No,
he's
no,
able to do that because of the this was a game that basically played to what I was saying. You know, I've been rolling with Indiana since the motherfucking first round. I've been saying Indiana, Indiana, Indiana.
right.
And I said, except when when they play OKC, because I really think OKC is a better version of an Indiana, just a deeper team. Indiana was proving that to be wrong as far as I could see. But this game is where it's like, okay, you see the other guys carrying the team, the other guys carrying the show. SGA not having that good of a game, but they're still in a position to win, and they did.
Yeah.
But no,
I mean, a lot of
no,
the heavy. Go
no
ahead. Sorry.
Wade, no Wade, no way. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, so I mean, a lot of the heavy lifting, even though OKC went 10 deep, right? 10 deep on their bench, and I mean, Isaiah Joe had 5 minutes. Aaron Wiggins had 8 minutes, but everybody else, the other 8 players that got in the game, all saw double-digit minutes. So um, they made it. You know, they made a point to. They made a point to go to that bench, and you said they spoke on the DP about trying to get SGA some minutes. here and there. We
Yeah.
talked about that. If we rewind all the way back to um, first round of the playoffs with the Lakers and how, hey man, JJ Redick, you need to be able to buy LeBron, buy Luca a few minutes here and there just to get some rest, as opposed to saying, hey man, you're my horses. We're gonna run y'all the whole second half. A 30 something, a damn near 40-year-old LeBron, if he's not already 40, a
Mm.
40-year-old LeBron and an out of shape Luka Doncic, and you asking them to go, you know what I'm saying, and just run for 24 straight minutes. So, coaching definitely, this is the chess match between the coaches, right? And for all the praise we want to give Rick Carlisle and, all the adjustments that he made after game two and the way they was playing SGA, throwing different defenders at him and all that other stuff. We can all sit here and say that uh that Indiana blew game four. The same way we could sit
They
there and
did.
say that OKC blew game one. But
Okay.
we have to speak to the coaching changes, playing the big lineup, going 10 deep on the bench, like making changes that ultimately,
Uh,
or shit, even if you want to say, hey, look, even if we want to say that Rick Carlisle made mistakes. I know Al and Mike Drafts talked about Rick Carlisle not going back to Obi Toppin after the third quarter that he had was a mistake. Yeah, I'd say with the way he was lighting their ass up in the third, and I didn't see him in the fourth. I'm like, that's kind of
man,
crazy that you
because
go away from that because it's working.
the crazy thing is Obi Toppin, he knocks down threes and stuff, but he gonna get you a dunk. He gonna get in the paint and all that stuff. Miles Turner is gonna shoot some threes, dog. Like
Yeah.
he's not really doing like he's always at the top to take a three. He ain't doing no dive cuts to
Would you
to
would
get to the basket.
would you consider Obi Toppin a poor man's Aaron Gordon?
I would say for what he's doing for Indiana, yes, but Aaron Gordon kind of stepped it up a couple notches this
He could,
playoff
yeah.
run.
But that's why I said a
But
poor
but I'm
man's.
but I'm saying before this playoff
Uh huh.
run,
Right. Right.
it's you could see a lot of similarities with what Toppin is doing and how what Aaron Gordon does for
Yeah.
Denver. So that's a good question. Um, but I mean, shit, I got another one with you when you talking about Chet. I've been talking about the number twos. Um, who's the real number two on OKC, and it's Jalen Williams. Like it's not Chet Holmgren, dog.
No. 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 No.
No,
No.
but there's a lot of people who will say like
No.
it.
Oh no.
There is
Hell
a
no.
lot of people who will say
Hell no.
I think I even asked KP and he said, it depends between Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. I don't want to speak for him, but I know me and him had this conversation before. We have a lot of conversations off air, and we were talking about who's the real number two for OKC. But it's Jalen Williams, man. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
No.
and
Without
you
a.
and
I'm
you've
talking about
had
without question.
and
To
you
me,
and
without
you've
question.
and you've had games where now this is what the second game. What did he have today? Was it 20,
Like 27.
27? And then
Yeah.
last game he had 26, right? Something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you
He might
if
have been the
he
leading scorer last game.
I'm saying if he stays consistent and then you get somebody else like a Caruso to have a good game or somebody else to step up and have a good game and Chet, hey, get your 15 points or your 14 points and
Double
make sure
digit
you're getting them
rebound.
rebounds,
Yeah.
because he was killing. I think he had like 15 rebounds.
Yeah. I think he had
So
15 and 14 today or something like that.
yeah, I mean that's a hell of a
Yeah.
stat
14
line.
points, 15 rebounds, and
Yeah.
11 of them defensive rebounds. So, getting on the defensive end.
Um
Again, I keep talking about how your boy, what's his name, Hartenstein, is an unsung hero. Like he doesn't do anything offensively, but he shows he
He
his
wasn't too much
size.
of a factor in this game, though.
But what I'm saying is his size is a factor on the defensive end, right? And just kind of redirecting shots, making people think twice. I think there were times down the stretch where if OKC would have lost, I mean, they were playing hot potato with the basketball early in the fourth quarter when I saw it kind of getting away from them. Where
The
Lou Dort.
bald mamba. Hey, Mel Gibson. The answer is no chance.
Zero.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no. What was it? Who had that? No chance. What was that wrestler? No chance in hell. Like, no, he
No
ain't got no
chance in
chance,
hell.
man.
Nah. But
That shit
Caruso, I
ain't
mean,
happening.
if you no, it would take J Dub to have like a 40-point or a 50-point game somehow in a closeout for us to have a discussion.
Hit that nigga. He ain't winning that shit.
But what I'm saying is that's what it would take right now. SGA has just been way too consistent, and he's been the only consistent. He's been the only consistent player um, on either team. So it's literally no question. He's had 3 30-point games out of the 4 games. Today, again, nobody else cracked 30. No, on either team. Nobody on either team cracked 30 again. I think the first two games, nobody had cracked 18. He was 30, he had 30, was averaging like 34. Nobody had cracked a dub in the first two. So then you fast forward, and I think when we start talking about the X's and O's, we start talking about coaching, we start talking about the role players. I think the biggest thing, the
Who?
biggest thing is
Wait,
that
you're saying who didn't crack a dub in the series? Period.
no. I think in the first two games, I don't think anybody on either team
And
cracked the dub.
cracked the dub.
Yeah. I think it was like high. I think like the high average was like 18 or something. Like over the first two games. But so
Wait. What are we saying? No, you're talking about points.
points. Yeah.
Nobody scored more than 20 on either team.
I don't think so. Or in the
That's
first two games, I think in the first two games, nobody was averaging. I think that nobody was averaging over 18 points. SGA was the only person. Like he was
oh,
averaging 35.
okay. That's what I was
And
about to say.
and
Like,
I'm saying nobody else on either team was averaging more than 18 over the first two games.
okay,
So what I'm saying is he's clearly the best player in the entire playoffs. I mean, in the entire finals, because he's cracked 30 points 3 games, and I don't think anybody else has cracked 30 at all.
okay.
So I can't remember game 3, but I know game 1 and 2 nobody cracked 30. He was the only one that cracked 30 on
Oh yeah,
either
for
team.
sure. He almost had 40
Yeah.
in the first game.
But what I was going to say, DP, kind of just to kind of continue on what I was just saying, I think the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle for Indiana is the fact that we haven't seen a big game from either Halliburton or Siakam. Neither one.
I mean, I think it's more so Siakam, man. It's more so Siakam. Like Halliburton, they've been winning without Halliburton going crazy. Like he hasn't been offensively aggressive, dog. Like, yes, it's kind of more of it's a better flow when he's in the game. I'll say that, right? When Halliburton's in the game. But offensively, since you were specifically talking about scoring, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's more important, I think, for Siakam to like get going. Like, but whatever, man, you know.
But and again, DP, that speaks to the defense. That speaks to a Hartenstein. That speaks to as much as I talk trash about him, that speaks to a Chet. Like, hey, like having their say and misdirecting shots, like, pushing these dudes out of their comfort zone. There were plays where, they're pushing your boy Halliburton out to damn near half court, doing that goofy shit that he liked to do. You know what I'm saying? To try and set up the three, or try and set up the mid range. That defense has to be accounted for. Like,
No,
you
it
know,
does. It does,
yeah,
but you let them off
what
the hook.
dictate? Yeah,
Yeah, like you let them off the hook when you don't
we let him off the hook.
yeah, you let them off the hook. They are who we thought they were. When you don't
Hey, if you
even
want to crown him, man, fuck it, crown him.
yeah, when you don't even attack it though is what I'm saying. You don't even try to exploit any
Yeah.
kind of you don't try to play to the advantage of a Siakam. Like, damn,
Mel,
at least try it.
hey, is Mel Gibson is Mel Gibson
He said Indiana
Indiana
gonna
fan?
get beat by 39.
Is he an Indiana fan or
Mel Gibson, who's your squad?
because I think he was speaking up positively for Indiana these last couple of games. He being game and said everybody been selling except for Siakam and Caruso and SGA. Yeah, SGA's been pretty consistent, man.
Yeah, he has. And
Okay. He did have
yeah,
he do
Nuggets,
got
Nuggets, that's
Carmelo in
right.
the thing. But
I forgot to circle back to this too. Um, Alf sucks at mock drafts. How much will Miles Turner have to ask for the Pacers to outright just say no? Um, after this run, I think they're gonna try to lock him in. Um, they're gonna try to lock him in, so he'll be a Pacer for sure. I don't think they're gonna let him walk. Um, will it be a max deal? Probably. Just given the way the market is, he'll probably get a max. Um, and if they don't work it out with him, you know, Bong, would you like to see him in a Lakers uniform?
hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely. We need this what stretch four, just a big in general. Um, and the way the league is now, again, it's it's so crazy. I was looking at the stats in the third quarter and they had kind of posted it. OKC had 1 3-pointer. And they were winning points in the paint, but it didn't matter because Indiana had the equalizer, and Turner's he's a great or a good 3-point shooter. So
mhm.
the way the NBA wants the game to be played now, um, he would definitely fit in a Luka Doncic led offense. So yeah, hell yeah, I'd take him in LA, but I'm pretty sure, like you said, Indiana's not gonna fuck around. They're gonna lock him up.
Yeah. So I think they're gonna lock him up. Al sucks in mock drafts. And Mel Gibson,
They
yeah, we did talk about how Benedict Mathurin turned into Benedict Arnold for the Pacers and missed four down the stretch, four free throws in a row. That killed them. I think when Bong was talking about it, he asked that were they down by four at that point. I think they were.
But you say DP said Benedict Mathurin turned into Benedict
Benedict
Arnold.
Arnold. Yeah.
To trade
Yeah. Yeah.
turned into a trader on these motherfuckers. He
Yeah.
took some money. They
Hey,
paid this nigga under the table.
come on, man. Come on. Like that was a killer right there. And
Oh
and and
man,
it wasn't like they ran plays soon. I remember you had said, Bong, you were like the role players um weren't coming through in the clutch in the down the stretch. I don't think it was necessarily like running plays through him or even like a Neesmith. It's just like when they were getting the rebounds and shit like that, then they were getting
right,
fouled or you know.
right,
So
yeah.
yeah, that
Are,
definitely hurt.
are, are we looking at a
So
7 game?
you said turn into eggs Benedict.
Eggs
Yeah.
Benedict, right? This shit. Goodness gracious. Are we
um
looking at a 7 game?
somebody earlier, I don't know who it was, said game 5 will be the
It is
determining
always
factor.
a pivotal game in a 2-2 series.
Hey,
I
listen,
forgot what the percentage is, but whoever wins game 5 and in the 2-2
which
series, they win a majority of the 7 games.
which also reminds me of something you said earlier, Bong, where you were comparing um Indiana's tricking off the game to game 1 where OKC's
Yeah.
tricking off the game. I just think the stakes which every game is the stakes are high, but the stakes were in this game, it was super high.
Yeah.
Like, so it was a different situation, and I think both teams needed it equally as bad. Um, and now you have OKC who is taking control of the series where Indiana would have taken control of the series with that with
And
that win. They could have lost the next game in OKC and then went back to the crib and probably closed it out in Indiana. But now it's
you want to hear something funny, DP? Um, I think it speaks to the fact that Tyrese Halliburton, and shout out to John Halliburton, who they let back in the building, and that motherfucker was front row. I don't know if you saw him talking to Tyrese during the game, but um, it speaks to Tyrese Halliburton being great at moments, right? Like, hey man, if you need a shot, you need one shot to win the game. It's hey, we're down two, we're down three, we're down one. We need to get into overtime, or we need to win the game with one shot. He's good at moments, but it's clear to me that you cannot depend on him to close a game out or to bring you home down the stretch. Because as the lead was dwindling, like you said, it was like, hey man, you get a turn, you get a turn. Hey, you get a turn, you get a turn. They never established like we're gonna go to our superstar.
Siakam.
And you know
Come
what?
on, man.
We spoke about this. What was it? Earlier in the series, or maybe even in the Knicks series, there could be there can be a strong argument made that Siakam is better than Halliburton.
Offensively. And just a, I would say, consistent, a better consistent offensive score. He's more aggressive. I'll say that for sure. And he will find himself in more mismatches than Halliburton will on the offensive side. And when you don't exploit that, it's just what are you doing? Like, you're
Yeah,
not playing to your strengths. And again, like Miles Turner, we're talking about him. I know he's gonna get his bread, and yes, overall he's playing well. Definitely, doing this thing on the defensive end as well. When he's knocking down the three, that's great. But when he's not, like, he's a big dude, man. Go to the paint. Like, you can mix that in there too.
yeah,
You mix that in there too, and just you would be the mismatch. Then we could easily, if Miles Turner was more aggressive, you could easily be saying that you need to go to Miles Turner. You need to get the ball to
yeah,
Miles Turner. We're not even saying that. We're saying Siakam. Then who? Why are we not saying Miles Turner? Right? A guy that we're talking about will get a max deal.
yeah,
It's like, dog.
yeah.
I don't know.
The the funny thing about how they tricked this game off, which I agree they tricked it off. They had they had the crowd, they had the fans in the arena going insane. Like, I mean, you guys had everything going for you. I'm telling you. I think I heard Kendrick Perkins saying I listened to ESPN for a half a second, and Kendrick Perkins was saying that he was talking to Bob Myers during the third quarter and said that it looked like OKC had gave up, like they had quit in the third quarter because it felt
And
like,
Indiana
and
right
remember,
back in it.
remember DP when I was saying it seemed like every shot they took, every shot they made, they had to work. They had to work their ass off to get it, and everything was coming so easy for
Is it
Indiana.
is it crazy to say that Indiana has looked like they are the better team?
No, the hell yeah, it's
They
crazy to say because the first two games they only led for 0.3 seconds. So OKC clearly looked like the better team the
so
first two games.
so throughout.
The last two games, Indiana's looked like the better team for
Okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, Yeah, first two games, OKC was clearly the better team. They had to walk away with a split. The last two games, Indiana was clearly the better team,
which
and they had
which
to walk
is
away with a split.
which is so you say first two games you got OKC.
Look, I mean, it was no questions asked.
Okay.
I mean, they led for all but 0.3 seconds in the first
Yeah,
two
no,
games,
no, no. I agree with that.
and then
Um,
the second two games they OKC has had stretches where they show that they're a good team, but Indiana overall has played much better than OKC. And I think that this game, again, it wasn't a buzzer beater. It didn't come down to a buzzer beater.
no.
That's what makes the shit so gut wrenching for OKC in game one is that y'all had control the entire game and y'all literally tricked it off in the last play of the game.
Dude,
What
listen.
makes it hurt more for Indiana in game four was that they watched OKC walk them down, and not only walked them down, but then took the lead convincingly to where
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah, yeah. And then now it's like psychologically, like Indiana, like you guys gotta, it's gotta be some real smooth pep talking in that bitch because you know this was a tough L. I don't care how you slice that shit. Like y'all needed this, Indiana Pacers fans. You motherfuckers needed this game.
yeah, oh, for sure,
Like,
for sure,
yeah. So I don't know.
for
Um,
sure.
going back to OKC, those motherfuckers gonna be crazy, just as crazy as
As Indiana was,
Indiana fans.
yeah,
If Indiana happens to to pull it off in OKC this next game, hey, shout out to them. You know, but
yeah,
I just think now the momentum has shifted. So
yeah,
um,
for
and
sure.
okay, I'll sucks in mock drafts is I don't think either of these teams is capable of beating the other twice in a row. Pacers win in 7 on the back of Carlisle and some timely shot making, in my opinion. Oh, that's okay. Okay.
If I had to say of the two teams out sucks in mock drafts, I think Indiana is playing the role of overachiever right now. Like, you know,
Well, bomb. Remember I asked y'all, well, which team is deeper?
yeah, we did
Last
have that
time
discussion.
I said
Yeah,
which team is deeper, and there was people in the chat saying Indiana.
Indiana, right? Just because of the roles that their role players play, like they're asked to do more, so they're more effective. Even though I say OKC can go what 10 deep on the roster. Shit, how many players did Indiana play today? Give me 1 second. Let me just take a look.
Probably about the same
Indiana went
amount.
9. They went
Yeah.
9 deep, and every single one of them played double digits. So yeah, I mean, and every single one of them had some sort of impact on the game. But um, yeah, well, I mean, we'll see, man. We'll see.
Yeah.
It's hard to say, how the series looks if Halliburton doesn't have, one of his Halliburton type shots in game one. But this and the funny thing is, if you listen to all the analysts, the basketball analysts on NBA TV, ESPN, Fox Sports, they were all saying when it was 1-1 leaving OKC, oh man, the plane ride back to Indianapolis is going to be fun. They still going to be playing cards and playing music because they got what they wanted, right? They got the split that they wanted. I wonder what that plane ride back to OKC is going to be like for Indiana now, because OKC came back and reclaimed home court advantage. So
But don't take it as listen, OKC, don't get overconfident because
I don't
y'all
think they if you based on if we listen to
Y'all
the same
motherfuckers ain't
interview,
it. Y'all motherfuckers is
hey,
not as running away
if we,
with this shit like everybody thought you would.
if we listen to the same interview with Shay, he didn't sound like somebody that was overconfident. He
Yeah,
sounded
no,
like
I
somebody,
said
yeah,
that.
he sounded
I
like
don't think
somebody that really believed that whoever exerts their will the most is going to win this series.
yeah, but when we talk about them, we talk about them like the young college team, and they all, you know,
Huddle around
yittity
his
and
ass,
all
yeah,
of that
yeah, yeah,
shit.
doing
Like,
that goofy shit.
so he may be saying that, but how do you guys feel collectively? And is he able to like calm the nerves of everybody in that locker room and get busy? I don't know.
Scotty
Pause.
boy
But
crazy as hell. He talking about look. He say they choking the shit out of Benedict.
on the plane. They hanging that motherfucker out the out,
My
out
office
the luggage
hours.
compartment.
I was the by heartbeat shit. My
Tie,
office hours are from 9 to
they
5.
they tied that nigga Benedict to the wing. Got that nigga climbing on the tied up to the wing. Like if you can survive the flight, you'll suit up.
Oh man, that's crazy, bro. Choking
Oh
his
shit.
ass out. Like what
Hey,
Cameron saying? Paid in full. No, 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 no. You don't get to eat. You ain't get no. You don't get no
one,
soy sauce.
one of his best
Best
acting.
roles. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of Cameron's best acting roles. He said the shit got his ass shot in D.C. A few years
Crazy.
later. Motherfucker was in D.C. and somebody shot his ass because of the role that he played as Alpo in Paid in Full. They
Yeah.
said that, but it was. I mean, that was probably man spot on, bro. Like
Mm-hmm.
to play a villain in a low budget movie and to really get that kind of reception that you
Yeah.
got, and to play alongside somebody who's as an actor is to me is an acting genius in Wood Harris.
Wood
Um,
Harris is
man,
Wood Harris has done a hell of a job in
yeah.
the first season of Forever, that series on
I
Netflix.
haven't watched it
Where he's
yet. I haven't
hey,
watched it, but
it's pretty
I heard
good,
positive
man.
things, and they said it's based
It's
out of
pretty
L.A.
good. Yeah, it is.
Okay,
It is. It's
yeah,
pretty. It's
yeah,
pretty good, man.
okay,
So shout out
yeah.
to Wood Harris. Yeah,
I'm trying to fuck with it
he's
sometime this
yeah.
week.
Hey, speaking of cards, I saw that what you sent to us in the chat in our
Oh my
off
god,
the our chat outside of this with your boy
screaming A playing solitaire.
oh shit.
So I was on Twitter when I seen it, and the lady that sent it, I guess she took a video of it or a picture of it. Somebody said, "Oh, it was halftime." She was like, "Nah, that was the third quarter. It was in the third quarter of the game." Screaming A or Stephen A. Smith or Screaming A as I call him, is playing fucking solitaire during the game. But it just goes to show a lot of these guys are just paid actors. Screaming A, he's made his name. He made a name for himself. He seems like he's moving into politics. He's doing all kinds of other shit. His shit ain't even on basketball anymore. He's just doing it because he has to. So, it makes somebody like when LeBron does his little shit with Steve Nash, or he used to do a shit with JJ Redick, or you get
Mm-hmm.
some of these guys that actually do
Mind the
like,
game.
or remember when Kobe used to do the detail shit on ESPN, like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when you have people that actually care about the game and break it down, it makes a difference. But Stephen A. Smith is just a talking head. He gets up there, he gets paid big money to say controversial shit, and he obliges. But there's a reason why. And he's not that entertaining. That's the funny part. Like, if you really want to go for entertainment value, get the TNT crew, right? I'd rather have Shaq, Chuck, Ernie, and Kenny up there to give me some funny shit and do some goofy shit. But either way, yeah, man, Stephen A. playing solitaire
Mm-hmm.
during the third quarter of Game 4 of the finals in a pivotal game where you would think that as a basketball savant, he would be tied, locked in, locked into the action on the court. But it is what it is.
Man, so they ain't playing again until Monday. So motherfuckers gotta they got to sit with that L, the Pacers, and you
Sit with
know.
it.
So who you got in the next game?
OKC.
Okay.
OKC. Just following the trend. OKC again. They've done this before. They lose the first. They lose game threes, right? Come back, win game four, and a lot of times they'll go back home and win game five. Hey, engineer, you said Skip low key was entertaining. Skip was low key entertaining with Shannon. Him and Shannon.
Skip.
Him and Shannon was a duo that should have never broke up, man. That shit was entertaining as a motherfucker, man.
Yeah, but Skip
That shit was
is.
entertaining as shit.
I don't know. I'm not
I mean,
necessarily.
but I'm saying again, him by himself is not. He ain't got the same magic, but him with the with the with the just being the crazy old man, crazy takes, and then Shannon checking his ass every day, like that was magic. That was TV magic right there.
I'm an Evan Hall of Fame, Skip.
Yeah. No, I mean Shannon. Yeah, like Al Sucks and Mock Drafts just said, Shannon Skip was good because of Shannon. It was, that was one of them ones, man. That was a Shaq and Kobe type thing that they should have never broke up. But egos is a motherfucker, man. Egos is a motherfucker. Hey, hopefully one day they're not saying that shit about us. Like, hey, man, 2Peez in the bong, man. Them motherfuckers had some magic, boy, but these motherfuckers couldn't stay down like four flats.
Oh shit! All right, man. Yeah, but it ain't until Monday, so yeah. And for those of y'all who are fathers, Father's Day hits this weekend.
Day.
Happy Father's Day. If we don't,
absolutely.
If we don't speak to y'all
for those
before the weekend is up.
For those that celebrate, for those that partake.
Yeah.
It ain't Mother's Day, so you ain't got the motherfuckers on the corner selling baskets and gift bags and all the other little shit.
You can go to any restaurant you want to. It probably
restaurant,
ain't gonna be crowded.
No wait, and it's not because of ice. Hey, man. Being out here in LA, man, this shit is so wild, bro. That ice shit is real with immigration or whatever, right? I'm telling my little amigos, man, y'all gotta start faking out the ICE agents, okay? They want you to be at the little Mexican markets, Superior, Northgate Market. Y'all gotta start popping up at Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, where they ain't looking for you. You understand me?
Hey.
You gotta outsmart these motherfuckers, baby. I'm rooting for you though.
Yeah, it's supposed to get crazy tomorrow. More
engineer.
He said, "No, nobody care about no fathers in this economy." Hey, very true.
Oh shit!
Very true.
Oh my god, man! Listen, hey, Al Sucks and Mock Drafts. Who the hell got Whole Foods money? But that's how they gotta fake out the feds, though, man. They not looking for you at Whole Foods. So go over there, spend your little money. You dig? You'll be good over there.
He said, "Who the hell got Whole Foods?
Get that
shit out of here. Give me some food for less, nigga. Give me that Northgate, and all that other shit.
That other shit. But man, we appreciate y'all tapping in, man. Obviously, KP will post his picks in the Discord. If you haven't already, please. Boy, oh shit. Hey, if y'all haven't already, please hop in the Discord, man.
Yeah, the link should be live. I think it's updated. Hopefully it hasn't expired. I know it has a couple times. I think I set it to not expire. So get on in there. Pause. But the Discord I'm talking about, some of y'all are in there. And we appreciate it. So
absolutely.
Yeah, man. Anything else before we get out of here, man?
Nah, man. Should be a decent weekend. We got NHL We got NHL playoff. Are we in the Stanley Cup Finals yet? Are we in the finals?
I'm not sure. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
think
not.
we're in the
I'm not
final. I
sure.
think we're in the Stanley Cup Finals right now. Um, for those that partake, but I think Kendrick just wrapped up his second show in
Yeah,
Toronto.
it's the finals, and
And,
that series is tied 2-2.
okay, so yeah, you
Yeah.
know, yeah. So we got the Usman fights tomorrow. Okay, well that's action. I'll definitely tap in. I'll definitely tap into UFC, man. Usman shit broke my heart when he kind of fell off, man, because
Scotty Boy said he's washed.
yeah, and that's what I just said. It broke my heart when he fell off. It was him, your boy Adesanya, um, and both of them fell off,
The
man.
style bender.
The style been and it was cocaine and European women kind of took him out the game, but you know, give give an African brother a little bit of money. He gonna find some cocaine. He gonna find some white women, and and you gonna see what the fuck they shit. The motherfuckers, they sleeping. Hey, listen, they sleeping in silk sheets, man. They ain't got that hunger no more. Remember when Adesanya used to come in the ring, he'll say, "Hey, man, I'm ready to die in this motherfucker." Now
Hmm.
he like, nah, I got the French tips. I got
Yeah,
me a little, I got me a little European chick outside the ring, and she waving that little white powder.
yeah. I don't know
You know what
how
I'm
long
saying?
he's gonna fight, but I mean he had a kickboxing career also, so he's been even before UFC.
Engineers say just your
Just your
standard
standard extracurriculars. Oh shit.
nothing to see here, just your standard extracurriculars. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, man. Yeah, no, yeah, that's true, Alf. I mean, Al Sex is mock draft. So, I mean, I'm gonna definitely tune in to see Usman tomorrow. But man, when he was at his peak, when it was him, Adesanya, um, man, I think there was a moment in time where Adesanya was talking about going after Jones, and yeah, I mean, you think about that now, like, nah, Jones would get your ass out of there in 1 round, 2 rounds. So,
Yeah,
but he
but
had a
even
moment.
even Jones now, like, is he?
No, no, no. Jones is even in his old age. I don't know if anybody's. He has a mental. He has a mental toughness
No, I'm
about
saying,
him.
is he gonna fight anytime soon?
Oh
Like,
yeah, okay, yeah. I don't know.
like
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. So I we'll see. But Jones he is by far. I mean, in my estimation, I've seen the best of the best. Right? You know what I'm saying? You talk about what's my man Spider, um,
Anderson Silva,
Anderson Silva. You talking about Chuck Liddell. You talk
crazy.
about Rashad. You talk about what's the crazy ass black dude. Um, they used to come with the
Who's
chain
a
like Mr. T.
who's a
Um,
crazy black dude?
with the chain, he
Oh,
used to
you
come with
talk
the chain.
um
What's that crazy motherfucker, man?
uh Rampage.
Rampage. Thank you,
Rampage.
Rampage Jackson.
I was like, damn, let me not.
Rampage
Yeah, you
Jackson,
talking about
Mighty
Rampage.
Mouse. You talk about George St. Pierre. I've seen them all. I think the best fighter in the UFC, hands down, in its history, even Conor McGregor, is Johnny Bones Jones. Johnny
Okay,
Bones Jones.
you're gonna get a lot of people saying no, no, no.
I mean, hey,
Okay.
that's just what we get a
We'll,
pause
we'll
for.
table that for another discussion.
Oh,
And he said Jones was juicing. Look, Scotty Boy said no the fuck he not. See, I
oh
told
shit.
you.
Yeah. Hey,
Hey, we'll table that for another day, y'all. Well, shit, we about to
absolutely,
get on up out of here, but we'll definitely holler at y'all again. But appreciate everybody for tapping in.
absolutely.
2 Peez in a bong, y'all. We out.